I want to be nice. They all say, I think he's changed. I think he's changed since 2 weeks ago. Something affected him. No, I haven't changed. Maybe I've gotten worse, actually, because I get angry.
So yeah, that was Donald Trump pretty much just slapping the media right square in the face, because they've been the ones telling us that Donald Trump is a changed man, that Donald Trump is going to be calling for unity and he's going to be trying to bring the country together. And there he was saying, nope, I'm just going to double down and I'm going to be worse. So to everyone out there who loves to tell us that we're the ones that needs to turn the temperature down, there's Donald Trump continuing to turn the temperature up. And the reason he's doing this, folks, is because Donald Trump does not know how to adapt to change. Donald Trump does not know how to go about changing up his style for different situations. Ever since President Biden dropped out of the race and ever since Vice President Kamala Harris came forward, Donald Trump has been in panic mode. And the only thing he knows to do in this scenario is just simply double down on his rhetoric, because he knows it works with his crowd. And even though it's not working with the rest of us, that's the only trick he has in his book. And I know I make a whole lot of boxing and wrestling analogies here on the channel. And one boxing analogy I would like to make is a great fighter knows how to adapt to change and can do so mid-fight. The great Muhammad Ali, in my opinion, he's the GOAT. And the reason I say that is because he always was able to go out there and change if he needed to. When he went into Zaire in 1974 to fight George Foreman and regain his heavyweight championship that was stripped from him because of his refusal to take part in the Vietnam War, when he got in the middle of that fight, he realized that if he stood toe-to-toe with George Foreman and tried to square off with him in the center of the ring, he realized that George Foreman would knock him out. So what did he do? He changed up his style on the fly and started laying back on the ropes, used what later became known as the rope-a-dope. He caused Foreman to punch himself out, and he regained the heavyweight title that was wrongfully taken from him to start with. But Donald Trump does not have that ability. He is in the middle of this fight, and now the things around him have changed. The scenery around him has changed, and he does not know how to adapt. He does not know how to change it up to stay in the fight. All he knows how to do is go out there and double down on this cult-like rhetoric, because that's all he's capable of doing. So here he is telling his crowd that they're going to be crushed. They're just going to be crushed if they don't vote for him. Folks, he's pretty much begging at this point. It's pitiful, but take a look.
You don't hear those words anymore. We used to talk about the American dream. A lot of you people are in the American dream, but you're going to be crushed if you don't elect me. I hate to tell you. You don't elect me, you're going to be crushed. You're going to say, Alice, what a mistake it was. We went for a person who has no talent. She's been a failure at almost everything she's done instead of Trump. And look at us now. We're going to move into an extremely small house from our beautiful house.
So yeah, the guy that bankrupted a casino is saying that Vice President Kamala Harris has been a failure at everything. It's so ridiculous to me when they sit back and call her a DEI hire to insinuate that the only reason she got the job is because of her race and because of her gender. And yet Donald Trump was handed everything his entire life. Donald Trump didn't earn anything. His daddy gave him a small loan of $1 million. He didn't work his way up from the bottom. He started on top. And you know, the only job that you actually start on top is digging a hole. And that's what Donald Trump has done this entire time. His entire life, he's just been digging himself further and further into a hole. And here he is, really needing to change up his style, really needing to figure out, how can I change this fight and get some momentum back on my side? He don't know how. So what does he do? He doubles down and goes from, you're going to be crushed, to these people are vicious. Take a look.
For you, because the SEC has been very, very tough on you. And now they see that you've embraced me. All of a sudden, people that were under investigation, they're being let go. They're saying, oh, no, we don't want to do that. We love crypto. Let me tell you, if they win this election, every one of you will be gone. They will be vicious. They will be ruthless. They will do things that you wouldn't believe. But right now, because of me, they're leaving you alone. So please say thank you, President Trump. Thank you very much.
Folks, that's fear-mongering at its absolute finest. That is what he is having to resort to now, because he's panicking so bad over Kamala Harris and the excitement that he sees building around her, that the only thing he can say to his crowd is, they're going to come for you and they're going to do away with you and they're going to be vicious to you. It is so Jim Jones that is truly pathetic. And what I would say to the people who thinks, oh no, if we don't vote for Trump, they're going to come for us. They're not going to come for you if you don't break the law. You know, if you don't try to overthrow an election, and you don't try to install fake electors, they're not going to come for you. They're not going to come for you if you've not hurt anyone, if you've not sexually abused anyone or defamed anyone. They're not going to come after you. They're not going to come after you if you took secret documents. They're not going to come after you. They're only going to come after you if you break the law. It's got nothing to do with you being aligned with Trump. This is just straight up cult leader mentality. That's all it is. It's nothing but fear mongering at its finest. And it's sad to watch. It's truly sad to watch him resort to this and watch people still hang on and know that there's people actually living in fear, thinking, oh no, if I vote for Trump, they're going to come after me too because they did it to him. They can do it to me. Listen, if you're sitting here where I'm at here in Appalachia working 9 to 5 every day trying to make ends meet, they're not going to come after you. You're not on their agenda. That's not it at all. It's just nothing but absolute fear mongering. And you would think again, well, is he going to change up anything? Is he going to try to adjust? Is he going to try to adapt? Is he going to try to appeal to independents and moderates? Is he going to try to appeal to women and maybe try to undo some of the damage that he's done to them? No, instead he's going to continue to brag about overturning Roe versus Wade. Take a look.
We've also achieved what the pro-life movement fought to get. For 50 years they've wanted to get this. For 50 years they've been working so hard, getting abortion out of the federal government. They wanted it out. That means everybody, Democrats, liberals, Republicans, conservatives, they wanted it out, and they wanted to bring it back to the states for 51 years to be exact. And that's the way everybody, all legal scholars, virtually everybody, they wanted it out of the federal government.
You know, folks, we hear Donald Trump talk on a daily basis about how smart he is. I don't think I've ever heard a president or former president talk as much about how smart they are like Donald Trump loves to do. I had an uncle at MIT. He was very smart. That makes me smart. My kids are smart. My whole family's smart. We're the smartest people in the universe. He loves to go on and brag about how smart he is, yet he rears back and does some of the stupidest stuff that I've ever seen, and I'm just some poor hillbilly here in Appalachia looking at him, going, you know what? This is pretty stupid of you, because this one issue alone, Roe versus Wade being overturned, that one issue alone could be what cost him this election. It absolutely could be. You take everything else off the table, everything, and that one issue could still be what pushes enough people to the poll to make sure he never gets back near the Oval Office again. So you would think that he would want to do something or say something to appeal to people, but he's not. He's doubling down. He picks a VP candidate to put beside of him who doubles down. The guy is not smart. We have sat back and watched him just continue to dig his hole deeper and deeper. And he's in panic mode because Kamala Harris has came out and she is absolutely on fire. People are unified. People are excited. And the excitement in her crowds is there because she's talking to them and not at them. She's talking with them and not down to them. She's not trying to push fear and propaganda. She's simply saying, hey, I'm going to be here to try to undo all the damage that this man's done. And when we're talking about Roe, Kamala is getting everyone fired up on this issue. Take a look.
And we who believe in reproductive freedom will stop Donald Trump's extreme abortion bans because we trust women to make decisions about their own body and not have their government tell them what to do. And when Congress passes a law to restore reproductive freedoms, as President of the United States, I will sign it into law.
Did you guys hear the pop from that crowd? Did you hear how excited and unified they are behind her? They're unified behind her because they watched all the progress that we've made go right down the drain. And they realize that if Trump is reelected and the Supreme Court falls even further to the right, they realize that for the rest of our lifetime, we would have to live under that kind of authoritarian rule. And they don't want to be there. Donald Trump is running scared right now because he sees our side unifying, and he realizes now he's the oldest guy in the race. He realizes now that his ideas are ancient and people are getting sick and tired of that rhetoric. And I know there's some people out there that would say, well, you know, Kamala's she's resorting to a lot of that rhetoric because she's shown videos about how it used to be under Trump. Exactly. She's bringing receipts. Okay. All this made up fake outrage that Donald Trump is pumping out, that's not even real. They're going to be vicious. They're going to take you down. No, they're not. As long as you don't break the law, nothing's going to happen to you. When Kamala Harris comes out and says, we're not going back, she can bring the receipts, just like we've done every single time. And that's why I love being part of this pro-democracy movement, because I see so many creators every time saying, here's the receipts. We're not just making this up. We're not just pulling this out of our ass. So many people tries to accuse us of trying to spread fear and hyperbole, but we always bring the receipts and say, look, this is what he's saying. This is what he's doing. And you can sit back and try to gaslight us and tell us we're taking it out of context all day long. But folks, we're the ones that are smart. We're the ones that can see through things. And we're the ones that sees when we're being gaslit. And we see when we're being used and abused. And that's what Donald Trump has done. His cultists are going to follow him to the bitter end. Long after Trump's gone, they'll probably be saying that they spotted him in a Burger King somewhere. And that's fine. Let them live in that fantasy world if they want to. But for the rest of us that's here in the real world, we're not going back to that.